My star pupil are you? No? Okay, it's 15 minutes. 15 minutes, all right? I know it sounds like a long time, but look, they've done a lot of research and stuff, and they think, these are the scientists and doctors and whatever, they think 15 minutes of water is enough to dilute it, to stop it damaging your eye, hurting, to make sure that all the chemical is gone, right? 15 minutes. You could be 10, you could be 20. It might still be stinging after 20 minutes. Stay there for as long as you need to, but 15 minutes is what they recommend is the minimum, all right? So I've got chemical in my eye. I know I have to get water on it for 15 minutes. Now, do I put water in this way, or do I put water in that way? The other way, yeah. Because it'll go in the other. Then I've got two eyes with the chemical, right? So this side, right? Do I use just like water like that, or running water? Running water, yeah. I need to flush it. Because if I get a bowl and I'm going like this, guess what? The chemical is just going around, nothing happens, right? So like that. All right. Now, hot or cold water? Cold. Cold. Right? Someone said hot. Anyway. Cold water. Do you know why? There's 3 reasons why. Okay. Cold water.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't burn, right? So it's comfortable. So cold water is comfortable. Cold water closes your pores. So it actually expels the chemical out, right? Stops more chemical from going in. And cold water actually slows the chemical reaction down. So it slows it down. It gives you a fighting chance, right? Hot water, guess what? Does the opposite. So it speeds up the chemical reaction, makes it work up faster, right? Opens up your pores, more chemical goes in, and it's uncomfortable, right? So that's the reason why you use cold water. So chemical in the eye, 15 minutes, running water, right? That way, not that way. And after that, what would you do? You go home and you go, hey, I'm all right. No? Go see a doctor, right? Make sure that all of it is gone, right? Go see an optometrist. Anyone that can, right? I had a lady at Kingsgrove, right, one of the nursing homes over there. She got chemical in her eye, really bad, really bad. She did everything right, 15 minutes, a whole lot. We did chemical training. She came back to work. 2 days later, her eye was like massive. She had to go to hospital, and she had 2 operations to save her eye. So you could do everything right, but then miss out on the vital one, which is go for a checkup, make sure nothing's wrong, right? Cuts on your hands, right? We're all chopping and stuff when we cut our hands or whatever. At home, you could be doing something, right? Make sure it's bandaged properly, watertight, right? So when you're dealing with chemicals, no chemicals are going in there, hurting it, making it sting. But guess what? A cut is an entry into your body. So you remember how we talked about poisons? You could be poisoning yourself, right? Because it's going inside your bloodstream, inside your body. So make sure they're all bandaged, right? Make sure you wear gloves, watertight gloves, right? So yeah, cuts. And the other thing is, look, sometimes people will drink chemical intentionally, right? Sometimes by accident, but most of the time it's intentional, right? If that happens, don't induce vomiting, right? So if someone comes up and goes, oh, the little girl or someone drank that, don't get them to throw up, right? Because guess what? This one, right, burn on the way down. And if you induce vomiting, it'll burn on the way up. And sometimes it'll go through the nose, and if it burns that, you can't breathe. So you die, right? So you need to dilute it. Remember we talked about dilution? Dilution makes the chemical weaker and weaker and weaker. So water, milk, anything that's neutral, right? So try and do that, right? And straight to the hospital. Call an ambulance straight away. A couple of times I'm actually working in hospitals, so I said go around the corner, someone will help you there. But yeah, straight to the hospital. Don't muck around. And take that with you, because if you know the chemical, or take the chemical with you, right? Because you can't muck around with that. They need to know straight away what they consume, so they can neutralize it, right? So that's it from me, guys. That's chemical training. Do you have any questions at all? Do you have any processes, like anything you've been doing here with a floor cleaner or a sanitizer that you think, oh, I better ask Carlos, maybe you might help us out with the process?
Can you go through the grill cleaner, like how it do it properly?
Yes.
Like
All right.
how-
So the grill, good question. Grill cleanup, right? Look, with all chemicals, right? All chemicals over 80 degrees, you kill it. No chemical will work above 80 degrees. It actually evaporates. So if you put it onto a grill, this one here, and you go, guess what? It's gone. It's not going to help. It's not going to do anything. It's just gone. It's a gas, right? So you need to, with your grill, you need to warm it up, yeah, get it up to temperature, and then turn it off, right? As it's cooling down, you add the chemical. Add the chemical to it. As it's cooling down, the chemical will start working, right? And then you start scraping, and by the end of it, you get a bit better result. But if you're 100 degrees and you're and you go, it's not working, it's horrible chemical. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? And you know, you've all done it. So yeah, 80 degrees is like the benchmark of the chemical. It won't work after that, right? So 70, 75, all that is optimum temperature. 60 degrees is fantastic. So if you've got floor cleaner and you want to add hot water, fill it up halfway with cold water and then add hot water, and that'll make it warm, right? And then the chemical will do its job properly. And the floor, it'll release the grease off the floor and all that stuff. Or the other thing is you can put hot water on the floor, and then you can add the chemical later, because by then the floor's cooled down, and then you can, and the hot water would have released the grime and the grease and all the fats, right? But yeah, this one here. The other thing as well, I've given you spray kits, right? Make sure you use the spray kits with that. Don't just go like that, because yeah, you've just wasted, 5 litres. And then you go, we'll buy another one. Don't worry about it, right? And then his budget goes through the roof. Why are we using so much grill cleaner?
It's not about quantity, okay?
Yeah.
It's about doing it right.
Right. Quality, right? So there's a 5 litre spray kit, and there's a 2 litre spray kit, whichever one. You let me know which one, and yeah, all it is, it's just a little thing with a cap. The hose goes inside, and then there's a long hose with a trigger, and that's all you do. You go, that's it. You've used like maybe 10 mils, 15 mils, right? But not like some people go, hold on, and then things over 80 degrees, they just go, and nothing's working. So
That's what you're doing.
they're all laughing because they do it. Yeah. I've seen it done. Don't worry, I've seen it done. I'm going, what are you doing? Mate, it's not going to work. Anyway.
And how do we change it safely when we finish the bottle?
Yeah. So you go like that, right? You get your gloves. You put your gloves in there. Actually, if you had better gloves, would be the other one. So you go like that, right? Put the thing in. It has its own little cap, right? And then you cap it. When you finish, get some cloths or get some towel, right? As you lift it up, you clean it, make sure it doesn't drip on you or your clothes, right? And then you cap it, discard it, and get the new one and do the same thing, right? But always wear that, because hey, it might be a little splash, or it might go straight in your eye, and guess what? You're there going, it hurts. It hurts a lot, right? So that's what you do. Safety stuff. Protect yourself. There's only one of you, right? So look after number one. Anything else? So grill, floors. We talked about floors. So warm, right? Make sure the chemical has some warm water in it, or the floor is warm, or get warm water and put it all over the floor, and then get the chemical and scrub it. You'll find a massive difference. Massive difference, right? If you do cold water, the chemical, guess what? The chemical's going, it's still sleepy, it's not working, and then you go, it's giving me, it's a hopeless results. So yeah, that's what you need to do.
We talk about this method, floor.
Yeah.
So it can adjust it.
That one there, no, I wouldn't adjust it. The diver floor,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Diver floor is good for greases and fats. All right. So that one there, you can put into that dispenser, right? Just put the tube in here and dilute it with water. This one here, if you use it neat, which is like that on the floor, you can use it, right? But just remember, it's caustic. If it gets on your hands, if it splashes on your face, it'll hurt. The other one over there, the big blue one, it's a chlorine based, right? It's really good. it will release the fats. It needs a little bit of warm water, right? But when you put it on, you'll smell the chlorine, and it'll cut through the grease and fats. So you've got two good ones. This one here, which is good. The other one over there, which is a little bit better. All right, but both can go through the dispenser.
Yep.
But if you're changing it, make sure. Remember how I mix chemicals, right? Fill up that sink in there, that little sink. Put the chemical feed in there. Flush it. Make sure all the chemical goes out before you change it to this one. All right. So whichever one you can use whichever, but you need to flush whatever's in the manifold in the tubing. Otherwise, you're mixing chemicals. You could cause incident. All right. What else? Sanitizer. This one here I mentioned before. It's a food safe, right? It's really good. Anyway, benches, seats, outside, inside, fantastic, right? You can let it dry if you want. I like to wipe it off after it's been sanitized, because what happens, this one's called a quat sanitizer, right? So what happens is you spray it on, it leaves a film of chemical, and what happens, it cuts out the oxygen. So any organism that's on the bench will die because it's got no oxygen to live, right? So that's why they call it a quat sanitizer. But if you don't clean it off, guess what? The next time you go and put more sanitizer on, you put another layer on and another layer on. And then you go, oh, my bench is looking a bit dull. It's because of all the layers. Each layer traps dirt, right? And then when you go to clean, so to clean it, what you need, warm water, right? So put warm water on the table, clean it, it'll come back, the shine will come back, the chemical will be, you get rid of the chemical, you'll cut it back, and it'll start working. Right? That's why I like to put it on, leave it on there for 2-3 minutes, and then you wipe it off. And then guess what? Your bench is sanitized. So you've killed everything. All right. So that's your sanitizer. You've also got another chemical called D2.
D2, yes.
D2 is food safe, right? And it's so if food touches it, no one's going to be sick. And it's also really good. It's multi-purpose. It'll clean anything. It'll clean benches. It'll clean floors. It'll clean the whole lot. All right. So really, really good. So it's like a 1-2 punch, right? So you've got D2, D3. So D2 you clean, D3 you sanitize. Right. So if you remember that, fantastic. And just remember, food safe. Right. So really. Anything else, guys?
Anything?
Is there any safe way to keep clean? Because sometimes maybe chemical may get on the gloves. How can we wash it?
If the chemical goes inside,
Not inside or outside. Then can
you just wash it. Just wash it. Yeah, just wash it off. Yeah. It's a barrier between you and your skin, and most of them are so good that even caustic stuff won't go through it, right? Won't affect it, right? So you can just wash it off. But what I would do is when you finish a task, right? So just think you're working with that, but then you're going to go and work with something else. Throw your gloves away. That's why they're called disposable gloves. Throw them away before you start another task, because even if you're fantastic and you've washed everything away, there might be traces on it, and then you start, that's what I tell my housekeeping guys. When they're working in a room,